Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's Jordan here, bringing you episode 3 of our New York Rangers franchise mode here in NHL 26. Now, before we hop into it, again, thank you everybody for, the likes, the comments, just watching the last couple of videos. Happy to be back, and again, we're working on to a normal routine, and I'm hoping that by second week of January at the absolute latest. We'll have 2 videos a week. We'll run one Bison episode on Monday, Tuesday, and then you'll get your New York Rangers one on Thursday or Friday. And now, with that out of the way, let's hop right into it. So, we left off last episode. Here you can see we sit. Let me hide the camera really quick, guys. So, you can see we sit sixth in the division, but we are only like 2 points out of a playoff spot. It's really anybody's game. If we go on a run, we definitely have the means to, make the playoffs, right? All we got to do is, if we win 10 of 11 or something like that, we should be a shoe in. Now, the only problem is we're definitely a weaker team from what we know. Like, we definitely need a top six forward if we're going to win a cup, and we definitely need another top four defenseman. We just don't have the trade value. We didn't really get any comments about what we should do, if we should tank, or if we should try to push for the playoffs. So I'm honestly thinking we just call this year done. I mean, we need a retool. We don't have a lot of trade value. Our guys with trade value can't be traded. I say we try to tear it down. So we're going to ask all these players to waive. That's where we're going to start. So ask him to waive. He sees a future here. He's not going to waive. Okay. I don't really see how you see a future here. Again, I don't see how we're a playoff team at all. If you remember from episode 2, Berube thought that we had the roster to win a Stanley Cup. Now, I completely disagree with that sentiment, but yeah, none of the players want to waive. So the only guys we could really trade away would be like Laffy. I mean, I don't even want to trade Lafreniere, but you got Laffy, Cooley, and I guess Schneider and Trocheck. But Schneider, Lafreniere, and Cooley, they're all young enough with a 3 or 4 year rebuild. They're ready to go. And they could be part of the building blocks of being a contender in the future. So I don't want to get rid of them. We'll ask Panarin. Maybe he waives just because he only has a 1 year deal. A clause is there because I believe in us. So I'm going to use that to my advantage. Before I continue, if he believes in us, let's extend him then. And you might be thinking, why would you extend him? If we're going to rebuild, what's the point? Well, he wants this. This is a great deal. It's a full no move clause. That's the only thing I don't want. And we'll give you a 36% trade clause, and we'll give you an increase in pay. Okay, that didn't move the bar. Okay, there we go. So yeah, this is what I'm going to do. Perfect. Now, we can't trade Panarin right now, but as soon as July 1st hits, we can trade Panarin. That's massive. I don't want to lose that guy for nothing. You see the trade value he has. It'd be foolish if you lost him for nothing. And now we guarantee we control the future there. So that's really nice. We're going to look and see what we could get for Vinny Trocheck. I can't see us being a playoff team. I really can't. And I think we are in desperate need of some sort of retool. And maybe guys like Miller and Zibanejad will waive that no move clause next year at the trade deadline once they realize, okay, we're not actually a contending team. We're going to sell. So let me go ahead and see what kind of trade I can find for Trocheck, and I'll pick this right back up when we find that trade. All right, guys, here we are. I found a trade I really like. Now, I didn't go through every team. I just want to see if if we can make something work here. So we're going to trade Trocheck to the Minnesota Wild. They're 39, 18, and 5. They look like a fantastic team. And this is before the Quinn Hughes trade. You got to remember we started this mode before he was traded. So unfortunately for them, they don't have Quinn Hughes, but they definitely need a center. Eriksson, Rossi, Hartman, and then on the wings, like the depth is not really there for them. And they want another center. And this guy can step in 87 overall and be the first line center for them. And that's an immediate improvement for them. Now, that since this is before the Quinn Hughes trade, gives us the opportunity to trade for a guy like Zeev Boyum. Now, they don't want to give him up, and that's because he is technically NHL ready, but they have him playing in Iowa. They're not using him. I'm sure they use him next season, but I think this is a good trade for us. If you look at their decor, there's not a lot of room for him to crack the top six. And he's not even the most prioritized prospect for them. They're playing David Jiricek, so and Jiricek's only gonna go up. Like, I think that, we do them a favor, we give them the center they need, and they do us a favor, and we get that defensive prospect that can hopefully eventually pair with Adam Fox. Now let's see, will this trade go through as is? Trade accepted. There we go. A sweet proposal on their end. So we probably could have got a little bit more, but honestly, I think this is a fair trade for both teams. Now, unfortunately, that really appears to be the only trade we can make. Again, we just fall in this terrible situation where all our top dogs have no move clauses. Borgen's got a no trade clause. Maybe he waives it. We can ask him. He's the only one we didn't ask. Yeah, nobody wants to waive. Again, we're actually having a decent season. I just don't think we were deep enough to make the playoffs or to at least make a run in the playoffs. And I honestly just don't think we had the trade value to really beef up this team. Like, I think that, getting out on Trocheck while the value is high was a really smart decision. Again, getting Zeev Boyum while he's actually still lower enough overall where his value was not crazy high, I think is an excellent deal. Because now next year, you're going to get the youth infusion of Boyum and Morrow on the back end. Perlow hopefully grows, takes that next step, maybe cracks the top six. Like, and we're trading Panarin most likely in the offseason. Like I said, he's got now only a 12 team protection. So this is the start of the rebuild. It's small. However, it was necessary steps. And again, the second and the fourth is huge. I'm not even going to go into the trade deadline because I honestly just don't think it does anything for us. And I honestly really hate it. It's not the best little mini game that they could have done. We'll decline that. We don't need to we'll stay as a buyer, but we'll just continue simming. And then we'll stop the sim. We'll take a look at what some other teams make for trades. We take a look here at the activity feed. So Boston gets Novak. Vancouver actually trades Bluger and some picks and is able to get Brandon Yeager or Braden Yeager. That's actually a pretty good deal. I'm not really seeing anything else that stands out. Jamie Benn off to Buffalo. That's interesting. Colorado picking up Cody Cizikas. Winnipeg actually gets Charlie Coyle. Okay, that's kind of a bigger move. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything. I guess there's San Jose getting rid of Matt Ferraro and some picks for a bunch of picks and a prospect there. So we really made the biggest move, honestly. So that's a little bit surprising. I was expecting a little bit more. Chicago, actually, I see that now they got Kotkaniemi. Sorry, I'm definitely butchering that, but that's an interesting trade for both those teams, honest to God. Because yeah, the Hurricanes sit first already, and the Blackhawks were seventh. So that's, very interesting trade there between those teams. I kind of like it. We're going to go ahead, though. We'll edit the lines really quickly. As you see now, we got Laffy on the first line, Cooley there. We got to get Perlow scratched, or dressed. And we'll put him up there on the second line. And then honestly, this works for me. I don't really need any of these other guys to play. And Zeev Boyum, he shouldn't play 25 games, so I do want to let him get some NHL minutes. And we'll even go ahead and put Zeev up on the power play over Berard. So yeah, just praying that Zeev doesn't get in 25 games, which again, he shouldn't. I think we have less than 20 games left on the schedule. So he'll still qualify for the Calder, but he will get a chance to get some NHL minutes. And I see we actually have 21 games. So we'll go ahead and we'll decline this, but we'll go ahead, we'll sim to March 1st, and then maybe we'll take him out for a few games and then put him back in. And then if our AHL team does make the playoffs, we will make sure to send him down for that as well. As you can see, that is exactly what I wanted. And actually, Zeev Boyum gets the win in his return to Minnesota. But started off 0-2 and 2 before picking up 2 wins. Again, if we manage to luck ourselves into a playoff spot, it doesn't really hurt my feelings. Again, I just don't think that we make a run with Trocheck anyways. But obviously, after tanking, you want to see the team go down the standings as much as possible. I'm not really sure who is returning to the lineup. Obviously, Pouliot's ready to go. I'm not sure who the other guy was. It said there was multiple. So, we'll just go ahead and I guess just put Pouliot back in and leave the other guys scratched. Yeah, there we go. Pouliot was ready to go. Oops, I forgot. We got to switch back to the NHL calendar. I always forget that. And yeah, this is exactly what you want to see. When you go for a tank, you've got, what is it? 2 wins this month and the rest losses. That's huge for us. That is huge. That solidified the tank. We're bottom of the division. And it's crazy how just one simple trade was enough to really tank us that much. It shows you how valuable Trocheck is. And hopefully he gets a cup with the Minnesota Wild. And I'm just remembering, we don't actually need to take Zeev out. It's 25 games, not 20. But yeah, just taking a look here again. Hide the webcam for you guys. You can see bottom of the division with 74 points now. How the mighty have definitely fallen. We're last in the Eastern Conference. We've got games against the Habs and the Capitals coming up that we definitely want to lose. And we'll take a quick look. You can see there the Wild sit in first place. So obviously that was the right trade for them. And it's working out. Again, hopefully Trocheck can get that cup. We'll just go ahead now, get the rest of the season simmed up. I'll keep the face cam hidden just so we can still get live looks at the standings. And yeah, big loss there against the Canadiens. I hate to see the wins back to back like that, though. Those are 2 teams you really would like to beat us. And Noah Laba gets injured. We'll just replace the player. And now we go on a little bit of a win streak. Not a fan of that at all. Oh my God, a 7-1 win. Now we're obviously not making the playoffs. So we really just cost ourselves our best chance at Mckenna. Because now we're not going to be the worst team in the Eastern Conference. At least we go out on a loss. You can see there, we sit 7th in the division. But now that the regular season is done, to wrap up the video, we're going to go ahead, take a look at the standings. And then after that, we'll do a stat deep dive. And then I'll just get us simmed right up to the end of the playoffs. So taking a look at the stats here, you got Panarin with 75 points. JT Miller with 69. Zibanejad with 62. Fox with 56. Lafreniere ended up finishing strong, getting up to 48. Cooley had 20 goals, 44 points. And then it just falls off. I'm really happy about Gabe Perreault, though. I'm curious here. So yeah, he actually went on a little bit of a point streak there, you can see. So getting those top 6 minutes definitely benefited him. I'm very excited about that. Hopefully that helps him get some growth. Othman had a decent year. And now obviously we just want to see about Zeev. So he didn't get his first goal, but he did have 4 points, two of them on the power play. Only two penalty minutes. I mean, it's a nice little taste of NHL action for the kid. Obviously, he should grow and be much better next season. And then we'll take a quick look here at the goalies. So you've got Igor Shesterkin there. He had a good year. Like, what can you say? These are good stats for an elite goalie on a really bad defensive team. I'm not going to complain at all. And you can see Johnny Quick as well. Like, these are really good numbers for goalies on a bad defensive team. I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to criticize them. I think they played fantastic. And on, we'll see rookie skaters here, Perlow. This is the only thing I want to look at league wide. And yeah, not even close. It was Demidov's Calder to lose. I debated trading for him, but they didn't want Trocheck, so it was like not really going to be able to swing that. It's also not the most realistic trade either. But yeah, this is a bad rookie class. You see, actually, Frondell got into the league right away. It's very interesting for me. But congrats on Perlow, 21 years old, not quite NHL ready, and you're the third highest rookie scoring. Fantastic season from the kid. Nothing to complain about. But now we'll go ahead, take a look at the standings. I don't care about the Metro. Let's look at the entire league. And wow, the Toronto Maple Leafs with interesting line combinations as well. That's why I wanted to take a look. I was curious what they would do. But they used their center depth to their advantage and they stacked that first line and it carries them to a President's Trophy. The Tampa Bay Lightning right behind them and the Minnesota Wild as well. 106 points there, top team in the West. And exactly like I thought, Trocheck steps into that team and he's the first line center. And it actually allows them to move Rossi to the wing. This is a deep team now. Just that one trade, in my opinion, really makes them deep. They lack just a tiny bit on defense, but honestly, I think it's good enough. And the goaltending duo is good enough. I could really see them making some waves here. Ogren, Boldy, and Jack Johnson are the scratches. And then it tapers off. The Oilers and the Sabres actually third best team in the Atlantic. The Panthers sneak in a wild card spot. So interesting. And the New Jersey Devils, the 10th best team in the league, and they are the first place team in the Metro. That is very interesting. Not often that you see that. And then, yeah, like Pittsburgh doesn't make the playoffs, but the Golden Knights do out west. And actually, another worse Western team. And the Avalanche were in third place in the Central, and they actually end up missing the playoffs. But no matter what franchise mode I do, Brock, Nelson, McKinnon, and Natchez always end up on the first line, which is just such a misuse of assets. Nelson should always be the second line center, so it doesn't surprise me that they don't do well. But I'm just curious. So we are 26th in the league. So if we sort, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're looking around around the seventh pick. Not ideal. Would have been nice if we were down here by Detroit or Chicago. But you never know. Miracles do happen. We're not really going to be able to make a trade for that first overall pick either, just because we can't trade Panarin yet. So hopefully the hockey gods are on our side. We've looked at everything. Let's go ahead. We'll watch the AHL playoffs. I'm actually not going to send Zeev down. I think he's an NHL player at this point. I'm not really sure how much AHL playoffs would help him. I don't know if because he was in the NHL, if we send him down, if that will, tank his value or his growth. So we're not going to mess around with that. But let's just go ahead and see what we can do. I'm optimistic that, the Wolf Pack can get to round 2 or 3. I don't really care that much, as bad as that is to say. We had Dylan Ruberek. That must just be, yeah, day to day. I was going to say, don't remember getting a notification that he went down. But we don't have any prospects down there that I really care if we, don't make it. And yeah, not surprised there. Hartford player gets injured. We'll just replace the player and we'll pick this up at the end of the playoffs and we'll see who won the cup. And the Tampa Bay Lightning have won the Stanley Cup. The Providence Bruins win the Calder Cup. And I watched this pan out like I sim day by day. And the Oilers had a 3-1 series lead. And they pulled the Toronto Maple Leafs and they blew that lead. Tough to see that for the third year in a row. Your Edmonton Oilers, they lose to a Florida-based team. Give you guys a couple of seconds here to take a look at the playoff bracket. Obviously, a surprise there that Anaheim was able to beat Minnesota. I don't think anything else really surprises me. Maybe that the Sharks actually made the playoffs. Everything else I could definitely see happening. Like, and even the Sharks can sneak in, right? So not a unrealistic playoffs, in my opinion, anyways. If you guys need to look any more at that, you can take a pause. We'll go ahead here, cycle through the awards. So the Leafs won the President's Trophy, and they got hit with that curse. They didn't win the cup. The Oilers, again, like I said, third year in a row, they're the best team out west, and they cannot get it done. And now, what is this? 8 years, something like that. 6, 7, 8 years of the Florida teams making it to the Stanley Cup Finals and winning, minus the Colorado Avalanche beating Tampa Bay. It's kind of a shock there, The Florida teams definitely run this league. And we can take a quick look at individual awards. I'm just going to cycle through them. I'm not going to read them all off. If you guys want to, pause to get a better look at who's winning the awards, absolutely feel free. Not any real shockers, though. Maybe Hill winning the Vezina. But the Knights were obviously a great defensive team. And yeah, Rafforski makes sense. The Sharks made the playoffs, and they definitely weren't expected to. So yeah, interesting interesting trophies there. Winners, interesting playoff, I think. We'll just quickly scroll through these, see if any of our players won anything. They did not. So here we go now. Let's just we'll sim up to, I think it's the 20th. That's where we'll stop the sim, because that is when we will know. That is when we'll know the draft lottery. Oh my God, boys, we did it. We did it. Congratulations to the New York Rangers fans. We're getting Gavin Mckenna. That is sweet. The tank for Mckenna. All we had to do was trade Vinny Trocheck, and we got rewarded. So that's awesome. We'll take a tiny look at the draft class here. I don't really need to go too in depth in this because, for one, it's not obviously scouted. As we know, year one scouts suck. We'll rehaul the scouts in the offseason. If we were the third or fourth pick, I would have done draft interviews and went more in depth to give you guys more information on what we should do. This is a no-brainer. We take the franchise left wing who can also play center, and he is coming to save the New York Rangers franchise. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. In the next episode, we'll get the draft done, free agents done, re-sign phase, as well as take a look at the retirements. Also got back into streaming. Make sure you check out my Twitch, twitch.tv/Jordan4_4. Link will be in the bio. Trying to stream 3 or 4 days a week. One of my New Year's resolutions is to actually get consistent with content creation. You guys know we did a Calgary Flames franchise mode that hit 10 episodes. We've done a Pens franchise mode that hit 5 episodes. The Bison series hit 13 episodes. We haven't finished anything yet. And even those of you that are here from the stream or also watch the stream, I haven't been consistent. And I think you guys deserve better. And these are things I enjoy so much. Creating YouTube videos, I love it. streaming, I didn't love it as much as first, but I now it's one of my biggest passions. So heading into the new year, I want to be consistent for you guys. So definitely starting that first or second week of January, we'll be seeing 2 or 3 videos a week, 2 franchise modes, and maybe some random things thrown in there. Maybe you get some hot, maybe even more franchise mode, maybe just some career simulations or, accept all trades videos, things like that. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. Your love and support means the world to me. Make sure you like and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on the episode. Were you shocked to see us trade away Trocheck? Are you happy with the haul that we received? And then obviously getting Mckenna was definitely worth it in my opinion. So again, leave your thoughts. Make sure you like and subscribe. And YouTube will see you in the next one.